Hello and welcome to day 149 of Facebook 365 days of Facebook Live. My name is Jessica Lozano and I'm a women's relationship and feminine embodiment mentor, and I'm here to guide women to have extraordinary love lives with the love of their life. Whether you are single and you're on this path, you're preparing for union, you're becoming the total package woman that you know that you are the one, and in this energy of being found, right? Or if you are a woman who is in a relationship with your partner for life and you want to continue to make it better, because in union, you are still on this path of expanding your love, of keeping this upward spiral of love. So today I'm talking to my single women who are wondering why they haven't been able to call in the type of man that they desire, right? So I want to say that this is a multi-dimensional path. It's not always just one thing. There's always going to be multiple things that you have to work on, and I will always say this all the time. And I have noticed that for some women who are been doing all the work and who are really highly successful, like in their career and money, they have really broken out of patterns with money. Like they've really created sovereignty when it comes to money. They've already broken out of certain habits and things that were not even habits, some conditioning and programming that when it comes to money. But with love, it's just like, fuck man, why isn't this happening? Because first off, I want to say that every section in our life is going to have a very specific frequency and certain things that we need to really break through. And when it comes to love, it's different than the energy of money, right? And there's going to be specific things that you want to work on in love than when it comes with money. So I want you to feel like, first of all, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing broken with you. It is just, this is where the path is illuminating to you to start working on, right? To start working on. So like, I never want women to feel like there's something that they need to be, that they need to fix. However, like something that you never need to fix, your life is exactly where it needs to be. It's like perfectly always unfolding. And I want to show you and I want to illuminate to you where are going to be the next steps that will help you to unlock the love that you really desire. Okay, so there's 4 things here that I want to talk to you about. Number 1 is there may be an attachment to a past lover that you are unaware of, or perhaps you're clearly aware, yet you do not know how to release it. So what do I mean by this? If you are attached to a past lover, your heart is with him. Even though you want this grand life, you want this grand love, if you're attached to a past lover, like, oh, well, that relationship was the one, even though there was a really ugly dark side to it, that wasn't the one. The one is never going to have an ugly side to it. Challenges, yes. Challenges that evolve you together as a union and that make you feel like, wow, we're doing this together. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's part of growth and evolution, right? Ugly? No. Ugly, no. So when you are attached to an old lover, this is what I've noticed in the women that I have worked with, the men that they are attached to are men that were shadow match relationships, that you've had a really strong connection with this person, and like, we're not doubting them, we're not taking that away, and we're not taking away the good and great things that came in this relationship that probably helped you evolve to who you are today. And we have to also acknowledge the other side of it, right? The other side of this was not a good relationship. And there was these really ugly parts to it, which is why you're not with that person. So if you are attached to a past lover, you're holding yourself in that frequency with that person. You don't have space to create a path for what you truly desire because your heart and your mind are stuck in the past. Or still, it's not even stuck in the past. Maybe you're still trying to figure out what this relationship was and you want to bring closure to it. So, and closure does not require you to talk to this person. Closure is something that happens within you and your heart and God. That's it. You do not need a past. You do not need to have a conversation. Some people are very fortunate to have those types of conversations, but not everybody is. I wasn't. I didn't have any closure with my ex. It was literally, we broke up over a text, and I never saw him again. Never ever in a face to face anything. So you need to close this relationship with your past lover in order for your heart to open. So if there's somebody on your mind that you're like, fuck man, I think, this one person I've been holding on to, you need to be able to let him go. And letting him go right there is an initiation for you. Because letting that person go is closing energetically this person, which means there's a mourning to go through, there's a grieving to go through. There is this, am I making the right decision? There's this ability, am I trusting myself with this decision, right? Like, I have to really let go because I was attached to the good part of it and ignoring the ugly part. But you have to look at the full part of it to really let go and to see it for face value, not see it for the potential. So that closing of that is an initiation itself. That automatically up levels and opens up more of your frequency of love, which is why I like to call it, like, your energetic field of love starts to open up even more. So letting go of this past lover, understanding, like really knowing through the entirety of your being that this past relationship was not good for you, and really putting that to a rest and keeping your mind focused on the future. Very often I work with women who have this relationship that like haunts them. And part of the work that we do together is really closing this chapter. And there's a lot within themselves that they have to like forgive within themselves, forgive within the partner, and fully release. Really do a death and rebirth when it comes to that. So you have to let this go. So that's number one. That's number one. Okay, how do you release it? I'm looking at my notes here. Yeah, that's how you release it. You release it by acknowledging that it was not a great relationship. There was good parts, but it was not it wasn't a healthy and an incredible relationship. And releasing what that means to you, what it means about releasing it, what that means to you is where you got to find and solidify yourself in. And this does wonders. I cannot tell you how much this does wonders, because what's going to happen is that your mind is going to, your wounded inner child, honestly, your wounded inner child, or sometimes I've even seen with some clients that there's like this entity attached to it that is trying to keep you stuck in this energy. And some of my clients who've had very strong telepathic and energetic relationship with some other past partners, we really had to set very strong energetic boundaries in the spiritual world and in the physical world. So this setting these boundaries is usually where women have the hard time of really letting it go, because it means that you also have to detach from this person. It's not just about the person not reaching out to you or whatever it is. It means that you are fully saying that this relationship is not serving me and I'm ready to release. So you guys set up some energetic boundaries, some spiritual boundaries, and some physical boundaries. And you are going to feel so powerful afterwards. All my clients, after they do that, it's like, wow, so strong. Sometimes you have to do a cutting cord ceremony. And a lot of the times is really sharing the entire story of that relationship. The entire story of that relationship, it allows you to put it to rest. Part of what I do with my clients is giving them full permission to share the entire story that has not been fully told, especially if there's some really wild experiences, right? So that's number one. Okay, number two, there are some relationships in your life that need fine-tuning. meaning dysfunctional relationship with someone that needs to be upheld to a higher standard that you haven't been quite able to hold fully. When you do this, you will upgrade your frequency to the level of love you receive for yourself, which will automatically reflect with men. This is a huge one. This is a huge one. All your relationships matter. All your relationships matter. And I'm talking about your relationship with your mother, your relationship with your father, your relationship with your brother and sister, your relationship with your friendships, your relationship with coworkers or employees or clients, your relationship with grandparents, with anybody in your life matters. Because these relationships are reflecting back to you what you are available for and what you are a current match for. So if there's somebody in your life that is dysfunctional, right? That is dysfunctional, that is not treating you the way that you want to be treated, the way that you know you want to be treated. And usually the hardest ones to really fully see this with is our parents, especially if you come from a really tight culture. This is probably one of sometimes the harder ones to release. But these relationships, if you're keeping a relationship, just for clarification, it does not mean that you have to completely cut them off. It does not always mean that. Sometimes it means just, number one, not needing their validation anymore. And number two, changing on how you relate to them. And number three, probably standing your ground a lot firmer with them. So that's what that means. With some people, it will mean that you need to sever them off. It really depends on what that looks like, what that means. Like, for example, my brother, I was not available for his treatment, and I said, do not contact me until you're ready to have a conversation. I was like, I'm not tolerating this. And it was a necessary thing. And it's not just me. He's pretty much cut off all ends with everybody in the family on his own doing. And then there's other people in my life that I needed to find peace with and make sure that the other people involved in this also are doing right by me, which means also doing right by them. So there are going to be some people that you have to really untangle this and step yourself up. Because especially if this is somebody that is frequent in your life, it is showing you what you're available for. Now, coworkers are a big one on here too. So like coworkers will show you as well, or your colleagues and things like that. They will show, or your clients, depending on where you are and whatever it is that you work with in your field, they will show you where your boundaries are, where your emotional intelligence is, where your self-leadership, where your open heart communication is. Like, they will show you all of that. So your career and those relationships will definitely show you, reflect to you where you are in that level of intimacy. Because work, I believe so. This is my assumption that with work, because it's another level of intimacy that you're having with people. And if there's also a power struggle that can come with work. So it's going to show you where you lie, where your insecurities lie with work, with validation, with what you're available for, right? A lot of people stay in a certain career for the security of money, even though it's not beneficial to their soul. So it's like, okay, so you are a match for staying in a relationship that is not beneficial for your soul, for a false sense of security of money. And with relationship, it would be for a false sense of security of love, right? So what is your career showing you? What is your intimate, your personal relationships showing you? Where do you need to fine tune and level up? Like, these are nuances. These are nuances and masterful work. And they make a radical difference. Again, once you're able to cut ties with people who are not treating you the way that you know you feel that you need to be treated, or Learn how to navigate different types of personalities in your life, because it's also not just about cutting everybody off, right? Like if you're working with people and you're relating with people, like if you're working in corporation, there are going to be certain personalities that you have to learn to work with. What are certain personalities showing to you that you need to evolve? Where are you taking things personal where you shouldn't be taking them personal? Where are you not communicating effectively what you need? Where are you over functioning in your career, in your relationships, right? All of this is showing you where you need to up level. Where are you allowing people to mistreat you, right? This is important. This is really important. And when it comes to your personal relationships, like especially if this is like a mother or father or like a sibling, this is where you really have to have a lot of courage and know and trust what is right for you, regardless of what you're going to receive from other people. But this is also so much true like in your work and things like that, in your career, but in family, because we want to feel wanted and we want to feel like we're a part of a tribe. When you start to break out from what has been programmed, especially if you have a very strong cultural orientation from like what your generational line is like, it's going to be even more stronger and powerful in terms of the setback that you get, in terms of like, not the setback, maybe the setback, the pushback that you get, but these matter. Because if there's someone in your life, for example, let's say your mother, that is being extremely disrespectful to you, like your mother is a main person when it comes to love, when it comes to like the person who was meant to give you unconditional love in your life is your mother. And if your mother is disrespecting you and you're really allowing that to continue, no matter what degree it is, you're holding yourself there. You're holding yourself at that frequency. So when you cut that off, when you don't allow that behavior in whatever way that looks like for you, and you have to trust yourself in what this looks like, you may get pushback from other people in your family. And this is where you have to stay strong and committed to what you know is best for you, regardless of what happens. This is an initiation, okay? These are all initiations. So where do you need to up-level your relationships? Number 3. Father masculine wounds that need some attending to and restructuring, both in the spiritual and physical realms. This is important because our father wound and our masculine wound is a lot of times on how we relate to men. And our availability to be vulnerable, our availability to trust ourselves with men, to choose the right men, and this feeling of like I'm held and protected. So this could be a very nuanced thing. This can look like having a conversation with your father about something that's been on your heart, that's been really important, that you really needed to talk about. But coming from a different place. So for example, one of my clients, she really wanted to talk to her father about the lack of help that she received, and her business is growing. And she comes from a family of wealth, and she wanted some financial support. And she knows that she really wanted to talk to him, to ask him about this. And that was part of our work, that we had to learn, that we created a plan for her on how to talk to her father, how to communicate with her father through your feminine communication, to possibly receive what she really wanted, to ask for a gift from her father, right? And she did. And she received what she wanted from her father. It completely changed the energetics of the relationship between her and her father. And this is very fine-tuned, very, very advanced work that we did with her. because of it matters on how you communicate and how you're approaching the conversation, and knowing when you're being aggressive or being defensive or being demanding or being critical. So we fine-tuned this, and she was able to talk to her father and receive what she wanted, and their relationship has skyrocketed. And not just her relationship with her father, but her relationship with her brother and her male cousins. Like, it was such a beautiful thing to witness. So where is it on your heart that you need to restructure, that you know right away? Like, if I say this, you're like, yeah, this is where I need to restructure my relationship with my father and restructure my relationship with the masculine. And this is what I'm actually craving right now. This is what I'm needing. This is what's on my heart. Where is that for you? Where is that next step of vulnerability? This was an extremely vulnerable conversation she had to have with her father, with zero expectation, knowing that she could hold herself on the other side, whichever way it went. Whether he said, yes, I would love to help you, or whether he's like, no. Either way, this was something that she needed to do for herself, because this is where her heart was calling her. So where is your heart calling you to restructure your relationship with the masculine? If you don't know, or if you're like, this seems really scary, really uncomfortable, my one-on-one intensives are perfect for you with this. Or of course, my 6-month mentorship program. But my one-on-one intensives, we really focus on 1 to 2 specific things that you really want to anchor in and transform and evolve and alchemize, so that you can be very squeaky clean with your relationship with love and men. That's what you want. That's what makes you a magnet for like the greatest love of your life. So that's number 3. Number 4, how long have I been talking for? Wow, only 21 minutes. I'm surprised. Number 4, you're avoiding relationship conflict versus taking it head on to have a higher standard of how you communicate with people and how they show up for you. This is a big one. This is a big one, especially for my people pleasers, for my women who just like, okay, that was rude or that was whatever, but I'm just gonna like brush it under the rug and continue moving forward. Again, what are you creating in that energy? What are you saying to the universe, to God, that you want in a man, that you're a match for in a man, that you're not going to talk about these conflicts? Instead, you're going to brush it under the rug and continue moving forward. That's not going to be a relationship that sets your heart on fire, that allows you to talk about everything and anything and continue to evolve, right? That makes you a match for a man who is not willing to have uncomfortable conversations with you, or he won't be able to handle it, right? So where are you avoiding relationship conflict with anybody in your life, any relationship in your life, that you need to start using your voice, speaking your truth, and communicating differently, have a higher standard of communication with people. And so you can acknowledge who is growing with you and who has to go. Grow or go. On this path, it's like, as you're growing and evolving to the woman that you know you are, to evolving to this woman who is a match for the greatest love of her life, people along this path are either going to grow with you or they're going to go, right? This is how it is. In order to receive what it is that you deeply desire and love, you have to be willing to let go of all the frequencies, of all the energies that are not matching up to the love that you want. Or you have to be willing to transform them, to transform the conversations. But this takes, you won't know whether it's someone that is going to grow with you or go until you actually have these types of conversations. Again, doesn't mean that everyone's going to get completely cut off on your life. It just means that probably there's going to be a big distance between you and somebody else. And that's perfectly fine. But you're on this path of cleaning up all these sticky energies. You got to clean up all these sticky energies. When you clean up all these sticky energies is where you're number one, you're not stuck, right? You're not stuck. You are now able you are in this place of destruction and recreation, meaning like you're able to let go, destroy what's not serving, and then create something new, which is what I teach inside of all my containers, really. But which is what I teach with my women. This is part of the death and rebirth cycle. This is part of creating something new. You have to be willing to let go of what's not serving you to create something new. Or at least restructure and reformat how certain people, how much access people have to you and how much they don't, right? So if this sounds really good for you, if you're like, wow, like, yes, like some of these points that you've hit are really on point. I have 2 ways that you can work with me right now. I have the one-on-one intensive, which is for the woman who wants to work on 1 to 2 specific things. And one second, why am I having a blank? So my one-on-one intensives are for the women who want to work through 1 to 2 specific things that she knows she is struggling with, or wanting a breakthrough. She's wanting a breakthrough in 1 to 2 specific things in her relationship with men or love. And she has a little blind spot on it, and she wants a mentor to work her through this so that she can find clarity. We do this on a 75-minute call, and then there's 4 weeks of Telegram support. In this 4 weeks of Telegram support, we take what we talked about, you implement it, and then as you are implementing it, as you're making these changes, a lot of other things are going to start coming up. A lot of things of you wanting to be, probably revert back to your old identity. We're like, no, you got to keep staying in this new path. We go work through things like that. There's other challenges that arise that we get to break through and work through them in live time, which is what is my favorite aspect of the Telegram coaching. Something always comes up that needs to get worked through all the time. So that is $555, and it includes a masterclass that I feel is very supportive with what you are working on. Now, the other way to work with me is my Sacred Union Love 6-month mentorship. This is for the woman who is preparing for Sacred Union. She is on the path of a devotional woman. She's probably healing from toxic and narcissistic relationships. Like, she is a devotional woman, but she wants to become the woman who feels and embodies as like the total catch, right? And she knows that there's things that she has to alchemize and work through. Like, she knows that. Like, she already knows that. She's healing from the past, and she wants to heal and alchemize and create this new identity of a woman who is like the match for the Sacred Union partner. We work on so much inside of my one-on-one programs. I'm just going to share with you a list of what I work on in here. We work on shadow and inner child wounding, that are keeping you compatible with men who do not claim you or who are controlling and manipulative. So we're really going to work through that. It's a huge piece. Generational healing, we break curses, traumas, and dysfunctional patterns that have been passed down through the lineage, right? So a lot of this stuff isn't yours. A lot of this stuff is what you just inherited. So we're going to get rid of that inheritance and claim your divine inheritance. So we claim your divine inheritance by creating a new trajectory for your lineage, and one of freedom, sacred love, consciousness, and literally a new timeline. Like, not even joking. Identity work, who you need to become to hold Sacred Union love, right? Awakening the Sacred Union within, activating your inner king and queen as within, so mirrored on the out. Sacred sexual healing, so we're going to be working through liberation for transcendental reclaiming your sovereignty, reclaiming your sexual sovereignty, and having sexual transcendental experiences with yourself, and how this can translate in your relationship with men, with him. We work on the full spectrum feminine embodiment, so integrating both dark and light feminine energies with the 5 archetypes that they stand in, and how they are such a key to your relationship with him, how there's such gifts to the masculine when you are in your full feminine embodiment. raising standards all around you, so closing up any leaky energies in your field of love, as I've been mentioning. The art of surrender and feminine communication with men, and discerning of when and who to surrender and communicate with men so that they hear and feel you. So you have to understand who you can surrender this to. And then feminine desire as a compass for masculine leadership with God within yourself and within him, and to live the life of your dreams. So this is the things that we cover in my Sacred Union mentorship. And this is this is a $5,000 investment, or you can do $888 for 6-month payment plan. So this is for sure a commitment. This is a commitment and an investment that you're making in yourself, into shedding the old that has created really painful relationships and experiences, and create this new life that you want with men and love. No more pain and suffering, no more feeling alone, this wholeness within you when it comes to love. And it's such a deep healing and transformational journey. All my women who are done with my programs are like, holy shit, Jessica, that was fucking amazing. Like, I'm a whole new woman. Like, I know who I am. I feel so whole and I feel so complete. And I know I'm just a catch. Like, there's no question about it. It's just a matter of time when the paths merge in together. So, if you also pay in full, I have a special bonus for you. And this is a bonus that I'm currently working on. So I don't want to say it out loud here because I don't want to like fully put it out yet. Just message me and I will tell you what I'm working on what this full bonus is. And this is going to like tie everything in so beautifully. And it's going to like elevate the whole experience. So this is for paid in full only. Message me if you are interested in this, and I will tell you what I'm working on. And maybe we can make this, you know, like maybe you get to choose what it is, what feels really good for you. So, yeah. That's what I have to say. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this live, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.